Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers hit the road on Halloween to take on Mark Sanchez and the New York Jets. It's week 8 in the National Football League. Here come the New York Jets at New Meadowlands Stadium. Jets with a record of 5-1, tied atop the AFC East. And they get set to host the 4-3 Green Bay Packers. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. Kenny Albert along with Moose and Goose, Darryl Johnston, and Tony Siragusa down on the field. Could this be a preview of Super Bowl 45 in Dallas? Rex Ryan certainly thinks his Jets will be there, Darryl. Jets have won 5 in a row, and they are coming off their bye week as healthy as they have been all season.
Well, invariably, a team will take on the personality of their head coach, and for the New York Jets, that means a defense full of bravado, but they haven't played to the level that Rex Ryan expects them to up until this point. He expects that to change this afternoon. Number one, they have a healthy Darrelle Revis, and number two, they're coming off that bye. There's going to be some new looks for this Green Bay Packer offense.
And like Rex Ryan, Packers head coach Mike McCarthy very confident about today's game as well. Packers at 4-3, tied with the Bears for first place, and Green Bay coming off a big win over their division rivals, the Vikings.
Well, whether it was Mike McCarthy or quarterback Aaron Rodgers, both very, very confident in their game plan coming into this game. They feel they've got a very good idea on what the Jets do defensively, and in my opinion, this is the toughest challenge for that Jets defense, especially in the secondary. Green Bay's wide receivers as good top to bottom. Here's a name to listen for today, James Jones. He could be the difference this afternoon in the passing game.
Jones with a huge game against the Vikings. Well, you heard from Moose. Next up is Goose. He's hanging out with Rex Ryan. But first, this Verizon NFL mobile update.
Go! Give me all you got!
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
A beautiful Halloween Sunday afternoon here at the Meadowlands as Sean Ellis heads out onto the field. There's Mike McCarthy in his 5th season as Green Bay Packers head coach on a 58-degree afternoon in northern New Jersey.
Well, you know, it was interesting to sit down and talk to Rex Ryan on Friday, and I got to see a little bit of Hard Knocks, and he kind of used that platform as a recruiting tool for free agents to see how they handle things with the New York Jets. And Goose, we had a great time with him Friday, but what is Rex Ryan really like?
Hey, Darryl, don't be mistaken. Rex is a great guy. He'll come out, he's easygoing. But when it comes to game time, and it's serious time, in that locker room, he flips a switch. He will go, he will motivate you, he will put you in the right spot, but he wants you playing at 100%. He does not go and settle for mediocrity. That's the kind of guy he is, and that's what kind of team you should see today with the New York Jets.
And of course, Goose and Rex Ryan spent a lot of time together. Rex, the defensive line coach during Goose's days with the Ravens. Jets have won the toss and have deferred, so Nick Folk gets things started. We are underway at the Meadowlands. Short kickoff taken at the 18-yard line and forced out of bounds at the 23 is Jordy Nelson. So Aaron Rodgers in his 6th season leads the Green Bay Packers offense onto the field.
A lot of respect from this Jets defense for Aaron Rodgers, and you hear a lot of talk about his release. He's got a lot of great weapons to work with that are around him. Greg Jennings, really the definitive receiver for this offense. Expect Darrelle Revis to match up with him. Antonio Cromartie will probably draw Donald Driver, and here we are on the first snap. They flipped it. They've got Cromartie on Jennings to the top, and Revis with Driver down on the bottom.
1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Ryan Grant out for the season, so Brandon Jackson starts in the backfield. He takes the handoff from Rodgers and gains 2. Bart Scott on the tackle.
And here's that Jets defense. They'll play a 3-4 look, but you're going to see so many different formations and personnel groups as an offense as you try and sort through everything. The linebacker core right there coordinated by Bart Scott. And here's that secondary. Antonio Cromartie, tall, lanky on the outside. Darrelle Revis, a real technician at the corner. Jim Leonard, he's the quarterback in that secondary. He'll make sure everything's coordinated the right way, and he'll actually lean to a matchup he thinks needs a little bit of help.
Jets with 5 defensive backs in the game. 2nd and 8 from the 25-yard line. Stretch play to Jackson. Not much. Bart Scott makes his second tackle. Gain of just 1.
Really, this whole offense will depend on how those guys up front right there play today. And Mike McCarthy, he pulled no punches with us. He wants the offensive line to take ownership of the team. He feels that the games are won and lost in the trenches. He thinks this is his best starting 5 that he's had since he's been the head coach of the Green Bay Packers.
3 wide receivers set for the Packers. They must get to the 33. Rodgers looking to throw for the first time. He fires, and it is nearly picked off by the free safety, Brodney Poole. So the Packers, on their first possession after the Jets deferred, go 3 and out.
Jason Taylor versus Chad Clifton on the outside. Chad Clifton coming off a good game last week against Jared Allen, but I want you to watch where this ball is thrown. The middle of the field. The Jets know that that is the area on the field that the Packers like to attack. Brodney Poole in a great position to jump that throw.
Tim Mastay punting from his own 15-yard line. Terrific kick. And a fair catch called for back at the 18-yard line by the first-round pick out of Boise State, Kyle Wilson. 55-yard punt. No return. Here's Mark Sanchez. 9 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions so far this season.
And that's the big thing. Understanding what his responsibility as the quarterback of this team is. Don't put your defense in a bad position. And you heard Jimmy Johnson talking about Brett Favre and Dan Marino, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the pregame show. But Mark Sanchez has done a great job from year 1 to year 2 of understanding how important every possession is and not making the critical mistake.
LaDainian Tomlinson in the backfield, 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line for the New York Jets. Long count by Sanchez, hands it off to Tomlinson. Off to a terrific start this season, out to the 24-yard line. LT, the 7th leading rusher in the AFC, averaging over 5 yards per carry for this Jets offense, scoring at a 26.5 point per game clip.
And it's a very balanced attack, but Rex Ryan expects the offense to improve, especially in the passing game down the stretch. One of the better offensive lines you'll see in the NFL. Do a great job running the football, good in pass protection for Mark Sanchez.
2nd down and 4. The slant intended for Santonio Holmes, playing his 3rd game following the 4-game suspension. Tramon Williams on the coverage.
That's one of the reasons that the Jets feel that their passing game is going to pick up some play as the season wears on. Santonio Holmes is in the lineup. He's going to get more opportunities. This is his 3rd start. He's coming off the bye week. He's had more time to get acclimated to Brian Schottenheimer's offense.
Holmes split out to the left. Tight end Ben Hartsock split to the right. Dustin Keller in motion. 3rd down and 4. Sanchez with time, and that pass is batted back by Cullen Jenkins, the brother of injured Jets nose tackle Chris Jenkins.
This Packers defense feels they also have a good idea of what Mark Sanchez and this offense is going to try and do on 3rd down. We talked about Mark Sanchez being kind of that manager-type quarterback. They feel it's a very limited 3rd down package and feel they have some really good reads on what the Jets are trying to do.
They definitely want Mark Sanchez staying in that pocket today. They do not want to let him get outside where he can go and make things happen.
Steve Weatherford's punt out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Both teams 3 and out on their opening drives. Jets have not allowed a single point in the first quarter this season. Packers have scored 51, second behind Oakland. And Rex Ryan and Mike McCarthy have never called plays against each other as head coaches, as coordinators. First time here today. Two tight end set for the Packers on 1st and 10 from the 35. The toss goes to John Kuhn, and he is met first by Sean Ellis. Kuhn gaining 2.
Seen a lot of different blocking from that Green Bay Packers front line on this particular play. Zone blocking off to the right. Watch how they all move together as a line of scrimmage. The defense good, holding up. You see that big wall they're building right there? That's going to be tough. The only area that there's going to be running room in this particular offense, the zone blitzing, is on the backside.
2nd down and 7. Driver split wide to the left. Jennings in the slot. Off the play fake to Jackson. Rodgers chased by Calvin Pace. Throws it away.
Well done by Calvin Pace. They understand how good Aaron Rodgers is on the move. Just do your responsibility. Don't chase the play down from the backside. 97 takes a look. Here comes the quarterback. Let me get upfield. Force that throw. Good decision by Aaron Rodgers to throw it away and line up again.
That's the success of the defense. Everybody doing their responsibility. When you try to do somebody else's job, that's when you have the breakdowns.
Packers best of the league, 3rd and 6+. Rodgers on 3rd and 7. The pass is broken up by Dwight Lowry, intended for the tight end, Andrew Quarles.
This is a very, very good play by Dwight Lowry on the outside, but before you can throw the ball, you've got to sort everything out up front. Look at all the bodies. Watch Jason Taylor come and move to the inside. There's your rush in. That's in the A-gap between guard and center. The twist with David Harris. A good job picking it up. They've got one-on-one on the outside, but Dwight Lowry, a great play right as the ball arrives.
Lowry with some huge takeaways at the end of each of the last 2 Jets games. Jim Leonard met immediately downfield at the 14-yard line by Pat Lee. Terrific coverage by Lee and the Packers special teams. Well, it's been a feeling out process so far. Packers have gone 3 and out twice. Jets once, and now the Jets start from the 19-yard line.
Kind of what you expect. You've got 2 of the better teams, 2 of the more talked about teams in the NFL, not real familiar with each other, so they're going to feel each other out here in the first quarter.
Damian Tomlinson out to the 18-yard line, gain of 4 as we take a look at the Packers' 18th ranked defensive unit.
Just a defensive unit that's just been beat up by injuries. That defensive line, that will be the key today going up against this Jets running game. The linebacker core also hit by injuries. The secondary here, very sound. Probably the one unit that's hoping to get a couple of guys back here in the next few weeks. Atari Bigby and Al Harris didn't make it this week, though.
On 2nd down, it's Tomlinson again. B.J. Raji made the tackle, gain of just 2. And the Packers this week brought in 4 new players on the defensive side. 3 of them are active today.
One of the big things you do when you're in a situation like that is on Wednesday, the first meeting, everybody gets to do introductions and meet all the new players that are on the team. Injuries are a part of the game, but it's been a tough stretch right now for these Green Bay Packers. They've lost quite a few starters.
And you had to look at some of the Packers who are not active for today's game. 3rd down and 4. Toss to Tomlinson, and he's bottled up. Our first penalty marker is thrown. Tomlinson stopped at the 20 by Clay Matthews. Jeff Triplett, our referee today. To hold against the Jets, penalty is declined.
Holding 17 of the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Braylon Edwards.
There's a lot of talk about who should have been the defensive player of the year last year. Was it Charles Woodson? Rex Ryan felt that Darrelle Revis should have got the nomination, but you saw Charles Woodson. He's a corner, but he plays in the box. He's very, very physical. Different styles at the cornerback position.
Woodson did take home the hardware. Fair catch called for at the 22-yard line by Williams. A 58-yard punt. Jets pumpkins and Packers cheeseheads clashing today here at the Meadowlands.
Little pumpkin cheese fondue.
Yeah, a lot of costumes here in the stands today. Happy Halloween, everybody, by the way.
You wearing yours, Goose?
No, not yet, but I will be tonight. Trick-or-treating after this game. Yourself, Kenny?
I will be as well.
Okay.
Third offensive series for the Packers. From their own 22-yard line. Rodgers gets rid of it quickly, and that's his first completion out at the 34-yard line. It's a first down, 12 yards, Greg Jennings.
Wow, how fast was that ball out of Rodgers' hands? Unbelievable.
Well, you got to do it. It has to come out fast if you're going to challenge anybody on Revis Island, and he's done a great job since he's been in the NFL going up against some of the top-flight wide receivers. He's going to have his hands full today. This Packer group, as good as any in the NFL, top to bottom.
From the 34, Jackson out to the 36-yard line. Gain of 2 as we check in. Thanks, Kurt. Dolphins perfect on the road this season, including an overtime win in Green Bay.
You know, Goose, I think what we're seeing, the emergence of Antonio Cromartie this year, that Darrelle Revis is just playing left corner. He's not matching with anybody specific.
That pass off the hands of Donald Driver.
Well, when you have two corners like the Jets do, I mean, what's the difference? Why match up? I think, Green Bay with their wide receivers, with Jenkins and Driver, I think, pick your poison. I think both of them can match up against those corners, and I don't think there's any difference whether they flop or not. I like the way they're playing right now.
I think they have different styles, though, Tony. You're talking about Antonio Cromartie, tall, lanky, vertical guy, good in press situation. I think Darrelle Revis is more complete. So if you do have a go-to guy, I would think that they would still want him on that player, but he's faced every single wide receiver that Green Bay has now going up against Jordy Nelson.
Rodgers on 3rd and 8, firing downfield. He was looking for Driver, who is not 100%, has a quad injury. In fact, did not catch a pass last week for the first time in 134 games.
And I think that was probably our biggest tip on the first play, that Darrelle Revis matched up against Donald Driver with that injury. You see that quick release by Aaron Rodgers. Donald Driver slips in the middle of the field, lucky not to have that intercepted. Again, that's the focal point of this Green Bay passing attack, between the numbers.
So Rodgers starts the game just 1 for 6. Mastey's third punt is a beauty. Fair catch back at the 12-yard line by Leonard. No score, 51-yard punt. Jets take over on their own 13-yard line. Howard Green in the game for the Packers. Started the week as a Jet. He was released, had quite the travel odyssey. Returns as a member of the Packers.
A big body inside for the Packers, and we do mean a big body.
Sean Green in the backfield for the Jets for the first time. Off the fake to Green. Sanchez hit as he throws, and the catch is made out at the 28-yard line by Holmes. It's a gain of 15, and the Jets' first down today.
And that's how you're going to get your throws down the field. You're going to come in an obvious run formation and personnel group. Green Bay matches you. They put all the big bodies in. It's a little play action, and still a quick throw to Santonio Holmes. Good accuracy on the throw by Mark Sanchez. Watch where this ball is. To the outside, away from Tramon Williams.
From the 28-yard line on first down, Jets look to set up the screen, but Green could not hold on.
That was a well set up play. There was some room for Sean Green on that play.
Well, I think they have the personnel that they want. They got the big guys in, like you said earlier, Darryl, and you're going to see those little screens, little short passes, and get those big guys running a little bit to try and slow them down. Howard Green is a big man, I'll tell you, right in there. The reason why the Jets cut him is, he was 360. He goes, on the week off, he comes back 14 or 15 pounds heavier. Wow. They said, we gotta let you go, and Green Bay went and snatched him right up.
Here's Sean Green to the 29 as we head west to Kurt.
Dallas without Tony Romo.
Oh, Dallas with Tony Romo. They were struggling with Tony Romo.
I mean, it'll be a rough year for those guys.
Thank goodness for the Texas Rangers.
Who would have thunk it? Cowboys 1-5. Split backs. Green and Tomlinson. 3rd down and 9. Jets must get to the 38. Sanchez down. Back at the 20-yard line. Brandon Chiller with his first sack of the season.
When you have somebody like Clay Matthews on the team, everybody is going to get focused on him. But it's actually going to be the guy outside. It's LaDainian Tomlinson. That's the matchup you want. An outside linebacker coming off the edge. Look how everybody turns inside. That's a tough, tough job for LaDainian Tomlinson. You're blocking off the edge. You're out there on an
fake punt. Steve Weatherford.
Wow.
Dives. It was close to the marker, and it looks like he picked up the first down.
Wow, is that a gutsy call right there? If you don't make this, you are putting your team in a bad, bad situation.
There's Mike Westhoff right there. Terry Bradshaw talked about him in the pregame show, and Tony's exactly right. Now it's going to be, did he get that lunge before that foot went out of bounds?
His left foot went out of bounds. It all depends on where that ball was. But Rex, I'll tell you what, has a lot of confidence in his defense.
Exactly, Tony. That's what it is. It's not a gutsy call. Oh, he's out of bounds. It's not a gutsy call if you have confidence in your defense. Even if this doesn't work, Rex Ryan knows that his defense can come out and make a stop, hold him to a field goal. It sets a tone. It sets a kind of a feel for this whole game that you're going to have to defend every single play.
It's close. That ball was close to the yellow line when that ball slid out.
I love the call.
Green Bay is challenging the ruling on the field that the runner stepped out of bounds beyond the first down marker.
So Jeff Triplett will take a look at it. Jeff Triplett trying to determine where Weatherford stepped out of bounds. We head to the Fox Command Center in Los Angeles and bring in the NFL's former Vice President of Officiating, Mike Pereira. Mike, what did you see?
Well, I think you got to piece both shots together here, and I think you do see that the left foot slides out of bounds. And after you see that, when you're looking in toward the runner, you go back to the live shot, and then you can actually see that the ball is short. They'll stop it right at that point. But watch the left foot here. Here's the key. The contact here, left foot's going to slide out there, and there it's out of bounds. When you go back to the live shot now, if you go back to the live shot, now watch, and you'll stop it right where you know from that first shot that the foot went out of bounds, which is right coming up, right, just a little more. You know that it slid out of bounds right there. So now you know the ball's short. I think they move the ball back to the 42, reverse it, and it'll be a first down.
Thanks, Mike. Here's Jeff Triplett.
After review, the runner is knocked out of bounds at the 36-yard line with the ball at the 36 and a half, short of the line to gain. So therefore, it'll be 1st and 10, Green Bay, at the 36 and a half. Green Bay is not charged the timeout.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, it's Daryl.
6:32 back on the game clock.
Yeah, Daryl.
So in that situation, the
Thank you.
referees are allowed to kind of look at one picture and be able to piece that together, even though there's not a definitive angle. If they can get enough information from the camera angle to go to another view, they can start at that point and be able to combine both angles to get a definitive answer.
Absolutely correct, and they got to do it within the 60-second time frame. But really, the replay assistant knew that before Triplett even got over there. So I think he gave him those 2 shots really quickly and got it done. Good job.
We appreciate it, Mike. So the Packers take over from the Jets' 36-yard line after the gutsy call by Rex Ryan. Packers empty the backfield. Aaron Rodgers just 1 for 6, and his throw is complete to a wide-open Greg Jennings, and Jennings takes it down to the 6-yard line of the Jets, a 30-yard pass play.
And again, I think that he is the wide receiver for Green Bay. That you have to stop. Coming out of the slot right there. He's working on Drew Coleman. He has no idea what the coverage is. Everybody else is running in a man-to-man situation. He jams them off the line and then turns them loose like a zone look.
Only 3 rushers for the Jets up front. It looked like they were holding somebody in for a spy so Aaron Rodgers doesn't run, but 3 guys are not getting it done on this Green Bay's offensive line right now. No pressure whatsoever on Aaron Rodgers.
First and goal from the 6, and Rodgers called timeout prior to the snap.
Timeout, Green Bay. They're first. Take 30-second timeout.
Packers using their first timeout. Well, coming up following the Jets and the Packers, America's Game of the Week. Many of you will see the Minnesota Vikings and the New England Patriots, or the Buccaneers and Cardinals, Seahawks, and the Raiders. Coverage begins right after the Jets and Packers on Fox. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. The second half of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader, America's Game of the Week.
Interesting to see how Brett Favre is going to play this afternoon with those 2 broken bones in his foot.
Is he amazing or what, Darryl?
Well, I think if it affects your play, if all of a sudden you are not helping your team win, I think there's going to be some really difficult decisions that are going to need to be made in Minnesota over the next couple of weeks.
Well, him just finishing last week's game was amazing.
Absolutely.
I mean, but you're absolutely right. Hopefully he can go and get it done and be out there and be effective.
2 of his former teams on the field today. Rodgers fires out of bounds. Remember, the Jets have not allowed any points in the first quarter this season over their first 6 games.
I tell you, Aaron Rodgers has really embraced the philosophy that they use this week where completion percentage is meaningless. Do not create the turnover. We've seen him throw it away on a couple of occasions, get himself out of the position to take a sack where you have the potential for a sack fumble. Aaron Rodgers is doing a nice job executing the game plan that Mike McCarthy has put together.
3 wide receivers to the right. James Jones split wide.
There's Greg Jennings again on Drew Coleman out of the slot.
Second and goal. Rodgers with time. Backpedaling. Now he dumps it off to Jackson. And Jackson is tackled just shy of the 2-yard line by Bart Scott. So it will be 3rd and goal for Mike McCarthy's Packers.
Boy, they got lucky that they moved Aaron Rodgers off the spot to the left, because look at Greg Jennings in the slot. There's your shot right there. He's going to beat Jim Leonard from the safety position if that ball can be thrown on time.
Again, 3 receivers to the right. Rodgers on 3rd and goal, looking end zone, and he fires through the end zone. Incomplete. His intended target was James Jones.
That's why you call the fake punt, Tony, because nobody has scored any points on you in the first quarter all season long. Rex Ryan knows that if it doesn't work, that his defense is going to at least hold the opposition to a field goal and possibly even create a turnover.
Yeah, why not take a chance? I'll tell you what, he puts it on the shoulders of that defense. They come up and they show up. And, that was a gutsy call, but I like it.
So here's Mason Crosby, 9 of 12 this season. This a 20-yard attempt. It is good. So the Packers take a 3-0 lead, but the Jets defense keeps Green Bay out of the end zone.
Little more important things down there in Arlington, Texas later this evening than in the Simpsons Treehouse of Terror. We'll put that on next week.
In for the World Series tonight on Fox. Here's Brad Smith on the return for the Jets. Cuts to the outside. And Smith finally tackled just shy of the 30-yard line by Eric Walden. 28 yards on the return. So Mark Sanchez and the Jets offense back out. Jets coming off the bye. This might surprise some people who expect to see Mark on the gossip pages as well as the sports pages. He spent much of the bye week with his dad out in California. He said he was in bed at 9:30 every night.
Oh, that's what the bye week is for. I know some guys like to kind of get out and go on vacation and get away from football, but to be able to get rest and let your body recover a little bit at that point in the season, I think Mark Sanchez did the exact right thing.
Is that what you did, Darryl, on the bye week?
Oh yeah, unplugged.
Me too.
On the sofa.
8:30 I was in bed.
Well, we really believe that, Tony. Here's Tomlinson out to the 33-yard line. Gain of 3. Charles Woodson, the tackle.
LaDainian had a nice cut on that play, breaks one tackle. He's still running. Not happy with himself right now.
It's just been amazing how he's performed this year. I think a lot of people felt that his better games were behind him coming into 2010. And the Jets, you know, you've got Sean Green. Why are you bringing in LaDainian Tomlinson? But he's proved everybody wrong. You watch him on film, and he's very decisive. He's very, very fast to the hole.
His first year with the Jets after 9 seasons in San Diego. 2nd down and 7. Sanchez with time, and he dumps it off to LT. And he's tackled by Charlie Pepperell, who lost his helmet after a gain of 3.
And here is that rebirth for LaDainian Tomlinson. You look there, the average. I mean, just an unbelievable average. And then a dip, 2008, 2009, and then this year. I mean, it's a rebirth.
5.3 yards, huh?
That's impressive. Those are some big numbers.
Only Jerry Rice and Emmitt Smith have scored more touchdowns in NFL history than LaDainian Tomlinson. 3rd down and 4. Jets must get to the 40. And they do. Santonio Holmes makes his 2nd reception. Gains 10. And the Jets move the flags.
Well, you can see why anybody affiliated with the Jets passing game is excited about Santonio Holmes.
Nice throw by Sanchez also. On the run.
Gets him on the move, exactly,
Yeah.
Tony. He doesn't have to break stride to catch that ball. Able to catch it at full speed and turn it upfield.
Movement prior to the snap.
False start, 67 offense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Veteran right tackle Damian Woody.
And he's going against one of the guy he knows really well, and Howard Green right in front of him. Maybe Howard Green got the best of him when he was back at the Jets and maybe in camp. Damian Woody a little nervous.
Maybe he used one of your tricks and threw out that jet cadence from the defensive line position.
We'll talk about that later now.
1st and 15 following the penalty. Tomlinson gaining 7 on 1st down. Out to the 47-yard line. A.J. Hawk and Tramon Williams in on the tackle.
You mentioned Howard Green and his busy week, Kenny. I mean, it's one of those situations that happens in the NFL. Tuesday, he gets waived by the Jets, jumps in the car, takes off. Wednesday, he's claimed by the Packers, so he doesn't even make it back to Green Bay until late Thursday. He's able to get out there on Friday. And now he's back at the Meadowlands facing the Jets.
He headed back towards his home in Louisiana. Had a couple of flight cancellations. Now Sanchez fires, intended for Jericho Cotchery, and that one is broken up by Desmond Bishop.
Looks like, you know, Howard Green, if you take a look at him, doesn't even look like they had time to go and get his right sizes. I mean, look at that shirt. Looks like a half shirt. I mean, that right there is maybe next week he'll get a shirt that fits.
How many X's were in that XL?
I don't know.
4?
Two, not enough.
Doesn't have enough. Well, now he's got it down.
2 more.
He's got it stretched down.
I think that's probably like a 5X, okay? And I think maybe he needs a 6X long.
Well, Red Batty and his equipment staff up in Green Bay very busy this week with 4 new players, new names, new numbers, new jerseys, new equipment. 3rd down and 9. Sanchez fires downfield, and it's complete to Holmes in Packers territory for another Jets 1st down, 17 yards from Sanchez to Holmes.
Sanchez looks really poised in that pocket, Darryl.
Yeah, the one thing is Green Bay felt very confident on their 3rd down package that they were going to be able to slow this offense down. But right now, Mark Sanchez is playing very, very well. I don't see the basic play calls in their 3rd down play selection at this point, and that's what Green Bay felt was happening to the Jets. And maybe that's a part of that bye week again, too. Santonio Holmes, an extra week around Brian Schottenheimer, learning this system, and they're able to expand it a little bit more.
4 completions for Sanchez. 3 have gone to Santonio Holmes, and now Brad Smith on the end around. Jack of all trades, Smith gains 3.
Clay Matthews on that play, outside linebacker. He bites inside. Watch him right here. He bites inside on the fake. Can't get enough. That's a little tip right there, guys. If you're going to go and come inside, try to keep your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, because then you can come back out. Once you turn your hips and your shoulders, you saw Clay Matthews there. He had to spin back out to try and help.
It was a nice job by Sam Shields, though, Tony. He knew that Brad Smith was on the field, and to be alert for that end around. That's called helping out your buddy, Darryl.
The Shields helping out Matthews. First quarter comes to an end on Halloween in East Rutherford, New Jersey. We'll return after these messages from your local Fox station. You talk about ingenuity on Halloween. Jets have some play callers in the stands.
Oh, that's not right, though. Rex has lost some weight. He's not carrying that much down in the belly. Look at that. It's coming down.
They're pretty close, guys. They're pretty close.
It's coming down.
The snap to Brad Smith. Jets start the second quarter with the Wildcat. Smith takes the direct snap, loses the football, and the Packers have recovered.
One of the big challenges of this Jets offense is all the different things you have to defend. Here's a little option package with Brad Smith. It's coming out as he's going down. The question will be, was he down? The flag is out by the Jets on the sideline.
On the initial replay, it looked like the ball came out first before Smith was down. Rex Ryan has thrown the challenge flag.
The Jets challenge the ruling on the field of a fumble.
Once that knee is down, the play is over. Looks like it's coming out. We'll come back, have an answer for you after this commercial.
Jets with a league low 4 turnovers this season. Our second challenge of the first half. The call on the field by the officials was that Smith fumbled and the Packers recovered.
And the big question is possession before that knee touches. He's got possession right now. You can see the Packers working at that football. Looks like it's starting to come loose now as he extends his hand. Knee goes down. Looks like the ball is dropping right there. So I think it's going to stand as called. Number one, is there enough to change it? I don't think so. So I think the big thing is it will stand as called on the field.
Ryan 3 of 5 on challenges this season.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. The Jets will charge their first timeout and first challenge.
So the Jets commit only their 5th turnover this season. Packers take over at their own 34-yard line. Green Bay leading 3-0. Movement.
Free play.
Rodgers fires downfield looking for Jennings. And he's out of bounds. Made the catch out of bounds.
Smart play by Aaron Rodgers with the offsides of the Jets. That's a free play, so you cannot get a turnover. It can only be a positive for you on the offense.
Offside. Defense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Brian Thomas.
It's like Brian Thomas and Jason Taylor both coming off.
This is a heck of a catch, though. I mean, it's out of bounds, but the adjustment that Greg Jennings made on that throw. Holy cow.
1st and 5 following the penalty from the 39-yard line. Rodgers, the toss to Jackson. And a nice tackle made from behind by Sean Ellis. Gain of just 1 as we head to Los Angeles once again. Here's Kurt.
And the news gets worse for the Cowboys. John Kitna's second interception, although both were tipped, turned into a touchdown by the Jaguars. Mercedes Lewis from David Garrard, 42 yards on the score. It's 14-3 Jaguars in the second quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
right, thanks, Kurt. A look at the division winners from last season in the NFC. Saints have already lost as many games as they did in 2009. Second down and 4. Rodgers, first down into Jets territory. Jordy Nelson makes the catch at the New York 44-yard line, a gain of 16.
Again, it's pressure off the slot, and it's an adjustment by the Packers. Drew Coleman coming in from the right side of your screen. They got 2 guys to block him, and there it is, the middle of the field. Green Bay does a great job of attacking the middle of the field, and right now, even though the Jets scouted it, they know it, the Green Bay Packers are being more efficient and more effective.
3 receiver set. Jackson the lone back from the Jets 44-yard line. Rodgers fake the end around. Now he throws downfield, and a diving attempt is made by Jennings.
Man, did that play action stop that defensive line as far as the pass rush. A lot of stuff going on in the backfield. Watch the defensive line. They go, they know something's going on, they settle. Now Aaron Rodgers has all day to look downfield because no one's up in his face because of that play action and all that action in the backfield.
Rodgers with great respect for Revis and Cromartie. He told us yesterday we'll pick on the third guy, that the third corner for the Jets is going to see a lot of action today. Second down and 10. Rodgers to the outside, looking for Jones. Coleman on the coverage.
Well, one of the things that they're able to do, because it's built into their offense and it's so hard to cover these guys, is they won't line up at the same spots during the course of the game. All 4 wide receivers can play across the board. So if you're trying to match Greg Jennings as an outside corner, he can move into the slot. He can be the third guy in on a trips formation. So you've got to be able to move throughout with him. Right now, the Jets are electing to play Revis and Cromartie on the outside, and they're getting Jennings and Driver and Jones into the inside and taking advantage of that third corner you talked about.
Top of the screen, Jennings against Revis. Rodgers up the middle, and that pass deflected off the hands of the tight end, Andrew Quarles, who grew up near Hofstra University on Long Island, used to attend Jets training camp, playing at home for the first time.
Again, coming off that little bunch, gets a great release off the line, and Aaron Rodgers can really fit a ball, and he's fit some nice shots in. There's a changeup from Darrelle Revis. You could see Greg Jennings anticipated it, got inside, wanted the ball his way.
Mastay with the punt to the 10-yard line, fair catch by Leonard, 34 yards on the punt. Jets pin deep. Well, 2 days ago, the Jets celebrated Halloween at their practice facility in Florham Park, New Jersey, hosting a Halloween party for local kids. Mark Sanchez and offensive coordinator Ryan Schottenheimer. There's Brian on hand to hand out candy to the youngsters.
All about finding out who's got the best candy. Got to track down those Butterfingers.
Absolutely. Off the play fake on first down. Sanchez moving to his left, throws out to the 23-yard line. And the pass is ruled a completion to Jericho Cotchery for a gain of 13.
All right, you have a play during the course of the game, and you got to hit it. Watch Braylon Edwards, 17 versus Charles Woodson. Charles is going to turn him loose. Uh-oh, there's no safety back there. An opportunity for Mark Sanchez. Now I know he's rolling to his left. He's a right-handed quarterback. This is a tough one. But I tell you right there, if he can get his eyes downfield, he's got a huge play. That's a touchdown.
From the 23-yard line, Sanchez off his back foot, looking to set up the screen for Tomlinson.
Clay Matthews came in scot-free. Surprised Sanchez got that ball off. Watch Clay Matthews right here. The guy who has an unbelievable motor, never stops, right in his face. And he came scot-free. No one even blocked.
It's part of the play, though, right? It's got to be. Look at Tony Richardson's letting A.J. Hawk go. It had to be some type of screen where they're letting pressure to the quarterback and then trying to get it out quick. I think his biggest problem was he just didn't execute. He didn't get the throw to LaDainian.
Yeah, they got it. If you're going to let somebody come free, let one of them big guys in the middle, not Clay Matthews.
Sanchez and Matthews know each other very well. Teammates at USC. Penalty markers on 2nd and 10.
That's on Mark Sanchez. He pulled that way before the ball was even snapped. Maybe he saw Clay Matthews in his face. Got a little nervous.
But don't you wonder, though, because he calls the cadence in the huddle. You know, he's the guy that calls what's it on. And, I mean, how do you pull out first? And you talk about, you know, the nose guard who jumps offside, but the quarterback who has a false start.
Number 74 of the offense.
They blame it on somebody
it on the
else.
center.
Second down.
They even cover the quarterback. They don't blame him for
Exactly.
anything.
Holy cow.
Oh, my Lord.
Come on. You say, hey, come on.
Nick knows.
That's not
Are you
right.
kidding me? They don't know what to do.
Remarkable hearing about that one from Nick Mangold this week, Goose.
That's going to cost him, Kenny. That's definitely going to cost him.
Second and 15 following the penalty. Off the play fake. Sanchez looking for Cotry, and it was deflected by A.J. Hawk.
What an athletic play, because he's got Cotry over the top at that second level. This is a heck of a play by A.J. Hawk, getting up and getting this ball deflected. Here he comes, coming into the open right there. Look at him elevate and get up there. With everything else kind of passing the other direction, that was a good chance for a catch and run afterwards.
A.J. Hawk grew up in Centerville, Ohio. Childhood buddies with Nick Mangold, who committed the penalty on the previous play, at least in the mind of Jeff Triplett. Split backs, Green and Tomlinson, 3rd down and 15. High snap. Sanchez steps up. Can't find anyone. Still looking. And now he throws out of bounds in the vicinity of Santonio Holmes.
Yeah, the difference right now, Tony, defensively, is the Green Bay Packers are getting pressure with 3. And when the Jets choose to drop into coverage, they're not getting pressure. That's just 3 guys.
Absolutely. You hit it right on the head, Darryl. 3-man rush, getting a lot of pressure. I'll tell you what, one thing Sanchez did do good, though, he kept moving his body and moving around to try and gain time, but then all of a sudden he wasn't looking downfield to look for his receivers.
3rd punt by Weatherford. Javon Williams lets it roll, and it is down at the 36-yard line. 3-0 Packers. Three minutes in, second quarter, with the Green Bay Packers leading the New York Jets 3-0. Packers will start from their own 36-yard line. John Kuhn, the lone back, 2 tight end set. The toss to Kuhn, the former fullback. And he gains 4 out to the 40. Aaron Rodgers, of course, in his 3rd season as a starter, replacing Brett Favre. And Mark Sanchez replaced Brett Favre with the Jets following the 2008 season. So both quarterbacks following a legend. Rodgers, the first round pick back in 2005. Backed up Favre for 3 years in Green Bay. Record of 21-18 as a starter. Led the Packers to the postseason last year. Here's Brandon Jackson. Gain of 2. Jason Taylor, the tackle. We had Wes Kurt Menefee.
Maybe someday that list will say Rodgers, Sanchez, Bradford. Sam Bradford looking good, leading the Rams to another touchdown. Danny Amendola and a 10-0 lead against Carolina. As you know, Kenny, St. Louis already equaled their win total from the previous 2 years combined.
And they've won their last 3 at home. A good job by Steve Spagnuolo and the Rams. Out to a 10-0 lead as the Jets use their second timeout.
Jets, their second. 30-second timeout.
So Rex Ryan's club trailing 3-0. They've won 5 consecutive games, Darryl, after losing to the Baltimore Ravens in their opening game. And we had a chance to spend some time around Rex on Friday. We've heard all about him from Goose, who played for him in Baltimore, but he has a lot of confidence, but the Jets have backed it up so far.
Yeah, they really have it, and I think right now there's no panic on that sideline. You're down 3-0, but you go back and you look at some of the things that have happened. You try to fake punt, which is a great call. I mean, I really like the call. It doesn't work, but you've got that confidence in your defense. They helped you with a turnover also. You have a fumble by Brad Smith. You're still there. The big one is Mark Sanchez missed that throw to Braylon Edwards. That was the one that you're like, wow, there you go. You draw up that play during the course of the week. You've got the big play shot down the field and you miss it.
4th down and 4. Packers must get to the 46. Rodgers' pass sails high. He also took a hit from David Harris.
That's the first time that that Jets defense really blitzed up front. They brought Jason Taylor over the nose, Leonard on the outside, and David Harris comes up with all the pressure. That's what you have to do right there to Rodgers. You have to let him know that you're here, get up in his face. That's going to help them later on in this game.
Maste punting for the 5th time. Looked like it deflected off Swain of Green Bay. And the ball is down at the 3.
And you'll see it hit his foot right here and be kicked forward.
Special teams coach Mike Westhoff on the left.
A lot of different things to sort out there. Yeah, it's a 22 is where first contact was made. So they're getting that right. You see right there.
Number 16 is Brett Swain of the Packers. Hits his left knee.
Yeah, between the 22 and the 20.
During the punt, we had an illegal touching by the kicking team at the 22-yard line. Therefore, it'll be 1st and 10, Jets at the 22.
The officials initially spotted it way back at the 13-yard line, so it's been pushed up to the 22. And 1st down, the handoff to Tomlinson. And he takes it out to the 30 for a gain of 8. And with that rush, LaDainian Tomlinson goes over 13,000 rushing yards, joining Walter Payton as the only 2 players in NFL history with 13,000 rushing yards and over 4,000 yards receiving.
An amazing career. Great to see him playing at the level he has in 2010.
Second and 2, Tomlinson again picks up the 1st down out to the 33. Desmond Bishop made the tackle.
There's certain players, when you get mentioned in the same breath of a running back, and you're mentioned with Walter Payton, if you're a receiver and you start hearing Jerry Rice numbers, that's an unbelievable career.
So only Tomlinson and Payton in that category. First and 10 from the 34-yard line. A toss to LT, looking to throw. And now he pulls it in. How about these numbers, guys? He's 8 for 12 in his career passing with 7 touchdowns.
Not a bad ratio. Gets out on the outside. It's defended well by Green Bay. They were not fooled on that play. Watch the coverage here on a trick play. Jamon Williams on Braylon Edwards on the far side. And then down here, Nick Collins is going to pick up Dustin Keller with Charles Woodson underneath.
Second down and 8. Sanchez dumps it off to Green. And Sean Green has a Jets 1st down. Out to the 47. Gain of 10.
One of the things that Mark Sanchez was not happy about with his performance against the Broncos the last time they played was he felt he didn't get to his checkdowns enough. He was trying to get the ball down the field, and there's been some people who've criticized Mark Sanchez about not stretching the field and checking down the ball too much, and you have to put that aside. Number one, it's playing within the system, and the way that they have this offense set up, it works around that. Have the confidence to check that ball down, keep moving the chains, give your offense more opportunities.
Off the play fake to Tomlinson. Sanchez nearly picked off by Charles Woodson. Pass intended for Braylon Edwards, and we head to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee.
Well, a nice start for Terrell Owens, or should we say a lucky start. He's already scored 1 touchdown, then followed the bouncing ball right into his hands. Hey, better to be lucky than good. It's great if you can be both. 14-6 on 2 TO touchdowns. Bengals lead the Dolphins. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks very much, Kurt. Packers leading this one 3-0. Midway through the second quarter. 2nd and 10 for the Jets from the 46-yard line. Inside handoff to Tomlinson. He slips and gains just 1.
One of the things that Mark Sanchez has done a nice job this season, and he got lucky in that Denver game again, could have had 2 other picks, but right here, don't make that throw. I mean, Charles Woodson is in your hip pocket, and he's done a good job against Denver, had a little bit of trouble, but you go back and look at some of the quarterbacks from 09 to 10, Aaron Rodgers, more interceptions already this year than last year. You see how close some of the other big-name quarterbacks are around the NFL, and Mark Sanchez has done a great job of cutting his down to only 2 this season.
None the first 5 games. Sanchez complete. Tomlinson loses the football and then falls on it for a Jets first down. Fortunate bounce for LaDainian Tomlinson and the Jets.
Wow.
Well, we just heard it on the game break. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Absolutely. That ball comes right back to him. Clay Matthews with a nice rush right here. Damian Woody staying with him. But Mark Sanchez definitely felt it. Then LaDainian Tomlinson goes. Where'd he get his head up afterwards? He knows the ball comes out. Look at his head. Come right back up. Find it. Get on it. It's a heads-up play by LaDainian.
Oh, there's not a more helpless feeling in the world, Tony, than laying on the field knowing the football is not in your hands anymore.
And you see it right out in front of you.
I never had that one. Mine were always bouncing down the field somewhere else.
Sanchez backpedaling. There is a flag.
Holding, 23 of the offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Sean Green, Jets' 4th penalty.
Not just running and catching the football, but as a running back in pass protection. And what Sean Green did there is he made no effort to get close to A.J. Hawk. He just turned and waited. You're going to catch all the force on that pass rush, and you're only about 2 yards away from your quarterback. A.J. Hawk is going to drive Sean Green right back into Mark Sanchez's lap. He has got to attack A.J. Hawk and get as close to the line of scrimmage as he can to give himself room between the rusher and the quarterback.
You don't want to be the nail, you want to be the hammer.
First down at 20, here's Green. Lewis said, you love being the hammer.
It's the only way you could be.
And you attended, along with Rex Ryan last week, you were not with us down in Nashville, the 10-year reunion of your championship with the Baltimore Ravens. Rex, during the bye week, was able to attend dinner on Saturday night. Sounds like you guys had a great time.
It was awesome. It was awesome. I'll tell you what, the room with the old players, when Rex came in the room, it was he just lit up the whole entire room. Everybody was happy for his success up here in New York. But the talks and all the stories started coming out. We had just had a great time back in Baltimore. I can't believe it's 10 years already.
Rex said you win a championship, you get together with the guys every 10 years. And that's a feeling you never forget. Tomlinson down to the 43 for a gain of 7.
Well, it looks as though Green Bay's plan coming into this game is really to drop more in coverage and try and fill those zones against Mark Sanchez than trying to pressure him. It looks like they're comfortable letting Clay Matthews go one-on-one against Damian Woody, try and get some matchups. But Dom Capers, his defensive plan for the Green Bay Packers seems to be more based on coverage, trying to confuse Sanchez or force him into a bad throw.
3rd down and 11. The slant, the capturing, and it was wrestled away. Tramon Williams comes up with the football. 2nd New York Jets turnover.
Tramon Williams on the slant, keeps battling. He battles for the football. As they go to the ground, it looked like it was a tie, which should go to Jericho Cotchery.
That's right.
And then he pulls it away, wrestles it away from him once they get to the ground. I think it should be a completion to the Jets right there. Plays over. Tie goes to the Jets receiver.
Let's see if Rex Ryan uses his 2nd and final challenge. He does. Tie goes to the runner in baseball. Tie goes to the receiver in football.
Now you have to explain what the challenge is so you can open the door for the possibility to challenge the play. And I think that's the whole issue right now. Is it reviewable? We'll bring in Mike Pereira and find out if this is something that Rex Ryan can even take a look at. How you doing, Mike?
Yeah,
The
from
Jets
Jeff
are
Triplett
challenging
first.
the ruling on the field, saying that the receiver was down by contact with possession.
A pass ruled complete, incomplete, or intercepted in the field of play is reviewable, so the Jets will challenge. What do you see on the play, Mike Pereira?
Hey, this is one that's really interesting, and we've gone through this before. You're talking about they came up with the ruling of interception of who actually ended up with the ball. Now, that aspect in itself is not reviewable, just like simultaneous catch is not reviewable. Now, the challenge is catch and down by contact, but with the fact that you had this play, with both guys in possession of the ball, before they go to the ground, they have got to stay with the defensive player coming up with the interception. Do not see any situation here where they could actually rule catch and down by contact, because it's, again, that initial ruling was that it was an interception.
Hey,
So
Mike,
this is intriguing.
Mike, Tony Siragusa, isn't the player down when his hip hits the ground? Isn't that when the play is over?
Well, it is, Tone, but remember what they did here is that they ruled that the defensive player had the ball, so they actually ruled interception. I mean, it's really one of those. This gets into this gray area that they have about who gets possession of the loose ball, and that's really what you have with two players going to the ground in joint possession. So it's going to be up to Triplett to see if he has catch down by contact, but to me, what you got here is you're reviewing who ended up with possession of the ball, and that in itself is not reviewable.
And the simultaneous aspect of it too. So doesn't a play, once you open it for review, doesn't everything become reviewable in that situation? Or is simultaneous possession one of those rare ones that is not reviewable even when the entire play is opened up to review?
You're absolutely right, Moose. It's, everything is reviewable within the context of replay, but simultaneous possession is not. It's who ruled. It's like if you go into a scrum, into a fumble, and recovery of a loose ball. That's not reviewable. Whoever comes out of the pile is the one that's going to get the ball no matter what might have happened before. So in this case, I think it's the same thing. Now, if he can try to say that he's got catch first and then down by contact, I think that's going to be tough for him to come up with. This is really one of the most interesting situations that I've seen in replay this year, but I think he's got to stay with the call on the field that the defense ends up with the ball. I don't see how he could piece it together any other way.
All right, thanks, Mike. He's coming out right now. If we need more, we'll come back to you.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. The Jets are charged a timeout. That'll be their third timeout of the half. They're out of challenges for the remainder of the game.
Glad to have Mike Pereira on that one because, as he pointed out, one of the more unusual review situations that you could have. And again, you know, Tramon Williams coming out of that play with the football is really the reason that it gets ruled that way. You know, if you've got Jericho Cotchery fighting, and it stays that simultaneous, it's gonna stay Jets. But with Tramon Williams fighting for that ball and stepping away, that eliminates the possibility for change of possession.
Yeah, it was almost that the possession was done after the play was over. When his hip hit the ground, then the ball, you know, was declared who had it.
Well, we would have had it wrong had it not been for Mike Guerrero, because when we watched it, we're thinking, no, he's got the catch. It's simultaneous when they went to the ground. And as you pointed out, Tony, when his hip hit, the play's over. He's down by contact. So I wouldn't have had that one right.
So the Jets turn it over for the second time, and they're out of challenges. Rodgers on first down, complete to Swain. That's his first catch in the NFL, a 7th-round draft pick back in 2008. Brett Swain gaining 12 yards. So the Packers now in Jets territory. Jets have seen 2 long drives end with turnovers, a 9-play drive and a 10-play drive. Packers maintaining a 3-0 lead as Jackson takes it down to the 45-yard line. Gain of 3, Mike DeVito, the tackle.
And I can't say enough about the game plan of the Green Bay Packers right now. I've been watching these matchups on the outside. They're doing such a good job of getting Greg Jennings into the slot and drawing the matchup that they want. The Jets have not decided to move Darrelle Revis across the formation and follow him inside. He's staying outside and covering the widest receiver on the field.
Matched up against James Jones on 2nd and 7.
And there goes Jennings into the formation. Now he'll draw coverage by somebody else.
Coleman. Drew Coleman matched up with Greg Jennings. On 2nd and 7. Rodgers moving to his right. Now he throws downfield off the left hand of Jennings. No flag. Jennings wants one. It was Coleman on the coverage.
That's a good job by Drew Coleman staying there. He's drawing the hardest assignment by the defense. Greg Jennings coming out of the slot right there. There's Drew Coleman. Revis is on the outside against James Jones. That's a good play by Drew Coleman.
I don't know what Jennings is all upset about. Looked like good coverage to me.
But the ability of the wide receivers for Green Bay to play across the board is creating some matchup problems for this Jets secondary.
Now it's Revis on Jennings, 3rd down and 7. Rodgers steps up, he throws, and there is a flag after the contact on Jennings by David Harris. Jennings shaken up.
Again, he's coming out of that bunch formation on the right. When he breaks to the inside, he gets turned to a different cover guy.
Pass interference, 22 of the defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, first down.
Rodney Poole, the free safety.
You could see Greg Jennings get his helmet pulled backwards at the point of the catch.
Should have been face mask.
Yeah, if anything.
Yeah.
There's those penalties creeping up on the Jets again, one of the areas they were hoping to get fixed during their bye week.
Well, the Packers have not yet been flagged today.
And that's one of their big ones, defensive penalties that give the offense a first down.
From the Jets 36, this is Jackson. Turns the corner and is knocked out of bounds by Harris after a gain of 7. Mike McCarthy very happy with Brandon Jackson's play the last couple of weeks. Packers lost Ryan Grant week 1.
He has done a nice job, has really stepped up, had a good game against Pittsburgh early in the year, followed it up with another good one against Minnesota last week. One that Mike McCarthy said the best game that he's had. He's not asked to carry the rushing load. It's more of an approach where, hey, when we run the ball, we want to be efficient and effective. We're not going to come out and pound the ball 25, 30 times a game, but when we do, we want to get 4.5 yards.
2nd down and 3. Rodgers, Jennings, first down at the 23-yard line. Jim Leonard made the tackle. So the Packers move the chains, gain of 7, with 2.5 remaining in this second quarter.
I'm just surprised that there's not a counter by the Jets right now, because they talked about Green Bay's receivers being able to go across the board in formation. And you would think if all of a sudden it became an issue with your coverage that they would have a counter for that. And right now it seems as though they're content to leave Darrelle Revis and Antonio Cromartie on the outside one-on-one.
From the 23 off the play fake to Kuhn. Rodgers steps to his left away from Taylor and then throws it out of bounds.
Jason Taylor on the rush. He jumped to try to get in Aaron Rodgers' face. Watch right here. And then watch after this, Bart Scott just going, seeing that they can't go and give him a lot of time. Comes up from the outside, but Jason Taylor identifies it, gets his hands up. Now Bart Scott's going to come in from the pitcher. I mean, Bart Scott's got some speed. Woof. Looks like you out there, Darryl.
Second and 10, final play before the 2-minute warning. Rodgers taken down back at the 33-yard line by David Harris, his first sack this season. Loss of 10 on the play. That takes us to the 2-minute warning from New Meadowlands Stadium. Packers leading by 3.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Welcome back. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa, with producer Barry Landis, director Michael Frank. On Halloween, Packers leading the Jets 3-0.
That looks like the same hat that our director has. Very popular hat these days.
We're on the same wavelength, Goose. Third down and 19. Empty backfield for the Packers. Rodgers gets rid of it quickly. The tight end Donald Lee out of bounds at the 27. Packers send out the field goal unit.
A little pressure again on that time, and we haven't seen a lot of it, which is surprising, because on the play before, here comes your pressure here. We're going to bring all these guys in. We're going to drop in coverage. Now, we talked to Rex Ryan and said, what was the most important thing that your dad, Buddy Ryan, taught you about defense? And I was surprised to hear this one. It came from a discussion with Y.A. Tittle. And Y.A. Tittle told Buddy Ryan that if you drop guys in coverage, eventually I'm going to find somebody open. You've got to bring pressure.
Mason Crosby, Darryl, wide left into the wind, missing a 45-yard attempt.
And into that situation with the 3rd and 19, you bring pressure, you force that ball to be thrown short, and now all of a sudden you extend that field goal back a little bit, and Mason Crosby has to fight these winds here. It gets pushed wide to the left. So the theory of pressuring the quarterback actually came from Y.A. Tittle, who's saying, you know, hey, I'll find somebody open eventually. You know, you've got to bring pressure. You've got to make me uncomfortable as a quarterback in the pocket.
Hey, Darryl, check out this goalpost. It is blowing so hard. The whole goalpost right above my head is shaking like crazy. We just showed it.
We can hear the wind. Best starting field position for the Jets today from their own 35. And a diving catch is made by the tight end, Dustin Keller. The Jets' leading receiver, that's his first reception today. There's that goalpost you were talking about, Goose.
Yeah, it's blown a lot harder than I thought.
Second down and 5. Sanchez with time, throws complete to Tomlinson. Wrestled out by Tramon Williams. Clock continues to run. Tomlinson to the 44-yard line, setting up 3rd down and 1. Pass intended for Keller. Desmond Bishop got a piece of it.
A big interception against the Minnesota Vikings last week, and Desmond Bishop almost has another one. Watch him jump the route to Dustin Keller right there. I think that one hit him in the face mask.
So now the Jets facing a 4th down and 1, and they will send out Steve Rutherford and the punting unit. So the Jets go 3 and out following the missed field goal. Rutherford punting from his own 33-yard line. And a fair catch called for at the 20 by Tramon Williams. 36-yard punt, 59 seconds remaining in the half. Coming up, the Visa halftime report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will be along with scores and highlights. And the Fox Sports ticker will bring you all the latest stats that's coming up on the Visa halftime report. They'll check in on the Dolphins and the Bengals. Redskins in action in Detroit. So the Visa halftime report up next. Getting back to your story regarding Rex Ryan and the advice relayed to him by his dad, Buddy, by a Y.A. Tittle, the Hall of Fame quarterback who last played in 1964 with the Giants. So 46 years later, still has an influence on Rex Ryan and the 2010 Jets. Rodgers sacked back at the 15-yard line by Dwight Lowry.
And it's been a change, Tony, because you've been talking about this during the course of the game, that you're surprised that there's not as much pressure coming from the New York Jets as we're used to seeing. I mean, that's what we see on film when we watch this team.
And when they're bringing it right now, they're getting a lot of success with it, especially up the middle, Moose.
Jets with 2 sacks in the first half. Rodgers kept clean last week in the win over the Vikings. There's Jackson, big hole. Jackson.
Get out of bounds now.
All the way up to the 42. The Packers have elected to not use any of their timeouts. They were going to run out the clock. But now Jackson gains 27. And the clock stops with 8 seconds remaining. McCarthy was content to let the half run out.
Well, a lot of times, as an offense, when you start the 2-minute drill, especially in a situation like that, just a little over 1 minute to go in the first half, it's all dictated by what happens on that first play. They try to throw the ball, they get a sack. So all of a sudden you change your thinking. Hey, let's just come out, we'll let the clock run, we'll hand the ball off, and now all of a sudden you're into a different mode. Hey, we popped one. We're out beyond the 40-yard line. But a lot of it had to do with that sack that they were able to get on that first play.
So the Packers use a timeout. Coming up tonight, following the OT, it's Game 4 of the World Series. Home team has won each of the first 3 games. Giants lead the series 2-1. Game 4 tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific in high definition. Only on Fox, the pitching matchup, Madison Bumgarner and Tommy Hunter. Darryl, I know you're looking forward to attending Game 5 tomorrow night in Arlington.
Yeah, I'll be heading out for Game 5. Hopefully at 2-2. No Yankees this year. Sorry.
Chad Clifton, Packers left tackle, came into our meeting room yesterday wearing a Yankees t-shirt.
What was he thinking?
So he picked it up this week. Off the hands of Jennings.
All right, now that play I can't explain to anybody. I could kind of fill you in on what the thinking was on the previous play when they handed the ball off, but a little pop screen to the outside with 8 seconds left, I'm not sure.
Now 5 seconds remaining in the half. Jets turn the ball over twice. Jets have not been held scoreless in the first half since game in Buffalo back in September of 2007. Rodgers takes a knee. The Green Bay Packers on the road on Halloween take a 3-0 lead over the New York Jets into the locker room at halftime. Stay tuned for the Visa halftime report. It's coming up after a word from your local Fox station. Welcome back to the Meadowlands. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. We get set for the second half. Kenny Albert with Darryl Johnston. Packers lead the Jets 3-0. We heard the guys at halftime during the Visa halftime report say the Packers defense looked like the Jets defense in that first half.
I agree. I'm surprised we haven't seen more pressure from the New York Jets, but I think one of the bigger things that they have to get corrected, and it'll be interesting now, you saw Donald Driver going in, his return doubtful today. Does that impact what they're doing from a coverage standpoint? Because right now the Green Bay Packers are being able to dictate the matchup that they want with Greg Jennings by moving him through the formation on the inside, not putting him on the outside where Antonio Cromartie or Darrelle Revis would match up with him.
And the Jets offensively crossed midfield twice, turned the ball over both times.
Well, the one big thing is they missed that shot to Braylon Edwards on the play-action pass from deep in their end. It's one of those opportunities to get a big play to really steal all the momentum. Mark Sanchez checked that one down. We'll have to see how he plays here to start this second half.
Remember, the Jets deferred at the start of the game, so they return the second half kickoff, and it's a big return by Brad Smith, who was forced out of bounds after crossing midfield by Sam Shields. A 47-yard return by Smith. Goose, terrific start to the second half for the New York Jets.
Yeah, it is, and I'm not surprised at all. I had a chance to talk to Rex going in right after halftime, and he was not happy whatsoever. I know we talked about it in the morning, and we talked about how, Rex, nice guy and everything like that, and he gets those moments where he will come after you with everything he has. We just had one of those moments. He is not happy with this offense right now. He said our defense is playing our butts off. Offensively, we're not running the ball. I got a quarterback that's not finding his receivers. He is not happy with this Jets offense, the way they played in the first half. And I'm sure he told them about it going into halftime.
Tomlinson gains 3 on first down to the Packers 45. Darryl, what adjustments do you think this Jets offense must make?
Well, the big thing is one of the things we thought coming into the game is this Jets offense is the ground and pound philosophy. And, Rex Ryan said it's the running game and good defense that wins in the NFL, going up against a Green Bay front that's got a ton of injuries. And yet they're holding their own against, what a lot of people consider to be one of the more difficult running games in the NFL to defend. So that running game for the Jets has to get on track.
On 2nd and 7 is Tomlinson again. Gaining 1 before he's tackled by Desmond Bishop. A Jets running attack, 2nd in the league. They average 159 yards per game on the ground. Only 60 in the first half today.
I'm going to go one step further. I agree with what the guys said at halftime. I think that the Jets came out, they had 6 days off. They're having a tough time getting back to the level of emotion that they need. The Green Bay Packers in the first half were much more emotional, played with more of a sense of urgency the first 30 minutes. We'll have to see if the Jets can raise their level and match it here in the second half.
Packers with a bit of a short week after playing on Sunday night. Sanchez on 3rd and 7, and Holmes started to run before he had possession.
Again, another opportunity for Santonio Holmes on this one. It's a catch and run. Watch Braylon Edwards, 17. There's a little rub right there. That's what frees him up. Mark Sanchez puts the ball there. It's a catchable spot. Santonio Holmes, do your fundamentals, look at him, catch the ball. That's another big play opportunity missed by this Jets offense.
So Weatherford punting from his own 45-yard line, end over end. Fair catch called for at the 11 by Tramon Williams. 34-yard punt. Holmes would have had running room, could not make the catch. I think we have our winner.
I wonder if that is just for today and Halloween. I have a feeling that is every home game for the Jets.
Yeah, that's not a costume.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with this being October 31st.
How about 365 days a year?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Packers start from their own 11 without Driver. Kuhn and Corey Hall in the backfield. Hall the fullback. But the Packers leading 3-0. Hall leading away for Kuhn, and he hurdles out across the 15-yard line.
Kind of the way they started the game offensively, well, you wonder if they're going to go basic. Let's see what the Jets are going to do. The first half, you're worried about that unscouted look because they're coming off their bye. Now coming out in the second half, you heard Tony talk about Rex Ryan. It just laid into his team, and you wonder if they're going to pull something up here early in the second half defensively. So come out, put yourself in a position where you eliminate a really bad play from happening.
Second down and 4. Rodgers to Nelson. What a catch. with Antonio Cromartie on the coverage. A terrific catch is made by Jordy Nelson, who gains 19 yards.
And again, we've talked about these corners, but this is one of the most difficult throws to defend in the NFL. The timing is excellent. The ball's, there's really no chance for Antonio Cromartie. He's still going upfield as Jordy Nelson is spinning around to make the catch.
Nelson's second catch today. Jennings split to the left. Matched up with Revis. 3 wide receivers set. Off the fake. End around to Jones. There's Jennings downfield off his left hand. And we'll check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt?
Tim Tebow has yet to throw a pass in his NFL career, but he's now scored on each side of the Atlantic. In London today, giving the Broncos a 7-3 lead on a 1-yard touchdown, his second TD run of the season. Kenny Moosey Goose.
And his first, Kurt, came against the Jets 2 weeks ago in Denver. Broncos and 49ers in London. 2nd and 10.
All right, they are moving Revis with Jennings here in the second half.
Keep it on the ground with Jackson. How about the quote from Greg Jennings earlier this week? Jennings said that he and James Jones will be, quote, ready for this? We'll be going trick-or-treating on Revis Island. I've never traveled that far to go trick-or-treating, and I have to bring my girls some type of candy back, so it will be fun.
So that's what happens when you pass out good candy. You go a long way to that house to make sure you get the good candy.
And you bring 2 masks. Sometimes you go twice.
Sometimes you send your friends onto Revis Island.
And see, here he is right here. So we've changed. There's Greg Jennings, and there's Revis on top of him. In the first half, he was not playing it that way.
Packers have not converted on 3rd down today. This time they do. It is Jennings out to the 47-yard line for a gain of 11 and a Packers first down.
So there's the adjustment in the second half by the Jets. It looks as though Darrelle Revis is going to match against Greg Jennings.
He was playing him to the outside totally, knowing that he had help from the inside with Leonard. Gave him a little too much cushion on that one.
Now Jennings and Revis spot him of the screen. Jones and Cromartie up top. 1st and 10 from the 48. Jackson across midfield. And it's Revis who knocks him out of bounds at the Jets' 44. Brandon Jackson gains 8. Darrelle Revis, of course, missed 2 games due to the left hamstring injury. Rex Ryan told us on Friday we have 2 healthy cornerbacks now.
For the first time all season. I mean, that's a huge difference. And Antonio Cromartie, I think, played better than everybody expected as Darrelle Revis was coming back from that hamstring injury. So now 2 very, very good corners.
2nd down and 2. John Kuhn. Kuhn picks up the first down to the Jets' 40-yard line.
There's some nice play calling by Mike McCarthy here to open this drive in the second half, Tony. Throwing a lot of different things at him. Really has this Jets defense off balance right now.
Yeah, they do. They're going out at him with some zone blocking up front, cutting on the front side, man protection. He's really putting a mixed bag out there, keeping this Jets defense a little confused.
McCarthy told us yesterday, I am very confident about this game. We will attack the Jets.
Now we'll see if Aaron Rodgers, here's his 3rd corner option right down there. It's Jordy Nelson versus Drew Coleman. He's going to go after cornerback number 3. That's the matchup he wants.
And the play is blown dead.
Delay of game, offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
First Packers penalty today.
And that's on Aaron Rodgers. You get up there, you've got to have that pace coming out. He knows it. You saw him hold his hand up. That's on me.
So the Packers push back to the 45-yard line. 3 in the backfield. Hall, Kuhn, and Jackson. Jackson. To the 43-yard line, gain of 2. David Harris made the tackle. Packers still without Donald Driver. Aggravated that quad injury. Did not catch a pass last week. Streak of 133 consecutive regular season games with a reception came to an end. No catches in the first half today for Donald Driver. Nobody covering. Swain, bottom of the screen. Now Cromartie comes over. Second down and 13. Rodgers, the slant. It is caught by Nelson at the 40-yard line for a gain of 3. Marquise Cole, the tackle.
They are really giving this Jet secondary fits with their ability to move these wide receivers across the formation. And that's what happens when you're trying to match up. It's not on Darrelle Revis and Antonio Cromartie as to where to line up, but for Dwight Lowry and Drew Coleman. All the other guys, Kyle Wilson, where do they go? How do they get everything set up?
As you said earlier, all of the Packers receivers can play all 4 different wide receiver positions, gives them a great advantage. Third down and 10. Rodgers sets. Now he throws, and there is a flag. Contact between Coleman and Nelson.
There is no illegal contact as the passer was outside the pocket. Fourth down.
So the flag is picked up. Packers will punt.
Aaron Rodgers gets outside of the pocket, so that play is off. And here it is at the top. Jordy Nelson with Drew Coleman. I don't know if it's incidental. It looked like illegal contact beyond 5 yards. Jets got away with one there. That was not incidental at all.
Jim Leonard back deep for the Jets. Grew up 2 hours west of Green Bay. And not a Packers fan. He rooted for Barry Sanders and the Lions. It's a touchback. Jets will start from their own 20.
Mike McCarthy trying to get confirmation on that last penalty call, why it wasn't a flag, why the flag was picked up. Not just incidental contact, but illegal contact. Once you get outside that pocket, that play is off. Now, a lot of teams, to get away from pressure, will move the quarterback out of the pocket. So, something that the defense, Tony, every time you say you don't get any calls to benefit the defense, I think that's one right there.
Well, there's the first one for everything, right?
And now Sanchez hit as he throws. And the pass is short, intended for Braylon Edwards.
I thought they hit Sanchez's arm while he was winding up here. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I was surprised to see it come off as a spiral.
Looks like he hit it.
Charlie Pepper got there, but somehow Mark Sanchez was able to keep it in his hand. Obviously, it's impacted the throw, but I thought we'd see a nice wobbly ball coming out of there.
Pressure from Zombo.
You just wanted to say Zombo, Tony.
So that's right.
Second and 10, here's Tomlinson. Up the middle, Desmond Bishop. Tackle after a gain of 2.
Can't say enough about this Green Bay Packer front and how they've been able to control this running game of the Jets. I mean, limited numbers. B.J. Raji and C.J. Wilson coming off the field now. That's the big thing. You know, the rotation, Goose, and all of a sudden you've got numbers down. And you're taking a lot more snaps than you normally do. You see right there, they've held the Jets to 65 rushing yards today.
Third down and 8. 3 wide receivers plus the tight end Keller. Jets must get to the 30. Sanchez pump fakes. Now he throws. Cotchery makes the catch. Jericho Cotchery in Packers territory. A 49-yard pass play.
Nice job with the protection of the New York Jets. Let's watch this right here. They're rushing 4. The outside, the Damian Tomlinson goes. Does a nice job of pickup. Late pressure, but Mark has a lot of time in the pocket.
You see Nick Collins getting there late. He was eyeing Dustin Keller on the third down situation. That's Mark Sanchez's go-to guy. He sunk down into the box. and that opened up the middle of the field for Mark Sanchez.
Biggest play for the Jets offense today. There's Sean Green, and Green on first down takes it to the 20-yard line for a gain of 8.
This is where the Jets want to be. It's 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3. Now you could do anything. Now the defense has really got to be on their toes. You got the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers wondering, all right, what are they going to come out with? Could it be a screen? Is it going to be a draw? Are they going to go downfield? A lot of question marks.
Well, remember, this is a spot where Mark Sanchez said Green Bay brings a lot of pressure right as you get to the edge of the red zone.
Penalty marker as Green picks up a first down.
Holding, 74 the offense. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
That's the center again, Nick Mangold.
That's a big penalty right there. Right as you're going to break into the red zone, get your first down. Going to pull this one back. And again, it's in that fringe area, and one of the reasons that Mark Sanchez is expecting pressure, he is a young quarterback. Is he going to take a sack that all of a sudden puts them in a position where they don't have a field goal opportunity? He was prepared for it. We'll see how he executes.
Second down and 12. Sanchez looking for the tight end, Keller. Incomplete. This is the deepest penetration by the Jets offense today. They committed 2 turnovers in Green Bay territory in the first half. 1 fumble, 1 interception. Jets average 26.5 points per game. Have not yet scored today. Third down and 12. Jets must get to the 18-yard line. Sanchez backpedaling. Hits Tomlinson. Tomlinson to the 20, and he stopped just short. Needed 12, gained 11, so the Jets will send out the field goal unit.
It looked as though Dom Capers was 1 step ahead of him, pulled Brandon Cheller out this way. The screen goes right into that area, so you've got a linebacker on the outside. Damian Woody does a good job. Actually, it's Brandon Moore outside. Just throw your body, force that defender to make a decision. That allows LaDainian Tomlinson to get his shoulders squared and get upfield.
So here's Nick Folk, the former Cowboy, from the right hash, a 37-yard attempt. And the kick by Folk is wide to the right.
Looks like he tried to play to wind, and there was no wind up there to play.
Crosby missed earlier, wide to the left. Now it's Folk, wide to the right. The score remains 3-0 Green Bay.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty.
Well, Goose told us earlier about what the wind has been doing down on his end.
That's the goalpost. Yeah, Nick Folk was looking at that also and hung it out right. Didn't come into play on his kick, though.
So the Packers take over from their own 28-yard line, leading 3-0. Rodgers drops back into the shotgun. 3 receivers set. It's off his fingertips. Cromartie on the coverage. Jones had a step on Antonio Cromartie.
Oh, you got to make that catch. Got to make that catch. See how James Jones does right here. He did exactly what they were coaching him to do all week long. Get on the top of Antonio Cromartie. He likes to run hip to hip with you. James Jones got on top, stacked him. That gives a 2-way go, but he didn't even need that. Aaron Rodgers dropped it right over the top, right on the fingertips.
Aaron Rodgers actually gave him some hand signals beforehand. I think he changed the play because he saw that matchup.
Jones without a catch today. Had a big game against Minnesota on Sunday.
We're going back. There's Greg Jennings against Drew Coleman out of the slot.
And it's Jennings on 2nd and 10 who makes the catch. Wrestled to the turf by Leonard. Picks up the first down as we head west to Kurt.
St. Louis and Carolina. Sam Bradford continues to grow up before our eyes. Hooking up with Daniel Fells, for the 17-yard touchdown, 23-yard touchdown. Bradford 2 touchdown passes today, 17-3. Rams on top of Carolina. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions last 3 weeks for Bradford. Kenny Moose and Goose.
I have been so impressed by Sam Bradford's play this year as a rookie. A lot of concerns coming in with those injuries to that throwing shoulder. He's had a great start to his rookie year.
Rams looking to even their record 4-4. What a tackle on Kuhn. Wrapped up by Bart Scott, loss of 2.
Well, Bart Scott identified that run real quick and came right through the line of scrimmage. I don't know if that was a blitz or he just identified that he knew that it was going to be a run by Kuhn.
Ryan Bulaga's got to have his head up. If he gets a run through, he's got to get down inside, squeeze that block. Bart Scott turn the outside guy free. He got caught in no man's land.
Empty backfield, 2nd and 12. Rodgers complete. It's Jennings. Red Jennings diving for the chains on his 6th reception of today's game.
I would love to know why they changed from how they started the second half. On the first series, Darrelle Revis was following Greg Jennings across the formation. Now in this series, they're going back to what they did before.
Jennings stopped just shy of the marker. 3rd down and 1. Jackson. Terrific job by the Jets defense, bottling up Brandon Jackson.
Well, if you look at this play, Chad Clifton had no clue what the play that Aaron Rodgers called was. He was there trying to look inside, saying what it was. He almost thought it was a pass play. He had no clue that it was going to be a run to the left-hand side. He was trying to get information from Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron never looked to his left to give him the play.
You know, the other thing, Tony, is Sione Bouha came on the field late, and it's like Aaron Rodgers allowed him to get in there. They've got their big guy in the middle running onto the field. I don't know why they didn't quick snap that. Then he changed the play at the line of scrimmage, so I think he did. I did think he confused his tackle.
Mastay punting for the 7th time, end over end. Leonard lets it go, and it will be down inside the 5. So the Jets pinned deep in their own territory. Terrific job by Mastay. America's Game of the Week coming up following the Jets and the Packers. Many of you will see the Vikings and the Patriots. Coverage begins after our game right here on Fox. Check local listings for the game in your area. Jets start from their own 5-yard line, trailing the Packers 3-0. Late 3rd quarter. Sanchez off the play fake. Can't find anyone from the end zone. In the vicinity of LaDainian Tomlinson. So 2nd and 10 coming up.
Well, there had to be a mistake on that play, too, because Mark Sanchez comes out and he pumps hard. I mean, he's pumping hard like it's a double move. And everybody had run short routes.
Offensive line does a great job of staying with their guys. I mean, look at that. Green covering the yellow.
3 wide receivers set. Contry in the slot. Brevin Edwards split to the left. Santonio Holmes to the right. 2nd down and 10. It's Tomlinson. Tomlinson out across the 10-yard line to the 11, a gain of 6.
Tomlinson just gets tripped up a little bit, had the cutback lane to his right. He starts out to his left, and he sees the cutback, boom, comes back, and just gets tripped up.
Desmond Bishop got lucky. He was down way too far inside. You can see LaDainian knows he missed one right there.
Packers shuffling personnel. Howard Green back on the field. 4th down and 4. Sanchez quickly to the outside, and it's a 1st down to Jericho Contry at the 19-yard line as time winds down in this 3rd quarter, a gain of 8 So the Jets move the chains, trailing the Packers by the score of 3-0 as this third quarter comes to an end from the Meadowlands. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. The Green Bay Packers have never beaten the New York Jets in New York or New Jersey. They are 0-4, but they can thank this area for a big part of their history. Vince Lombardi, born in Brooklyn, began his high school coaching career in the state of New Jersey. Packers lead as we start the fourth quarter, 3-0. Sanchez pass sails out of bounds, intended for the tight end, Dustin Keller.
Well, they've done a good job there with that matchup. They know how important Dustin Keller is to Mark Sanchez in the passing game. I think Brian Schottenheimer, early in the game, had a lot of confidence in Santonio Holmes. He was really the key to this passing game in the first half. Had a big opportunity for a play here in the second half. Just took his eyes off the ball.
Brad Smith, Wildcat, on 2nd and 10.
They have a bunch set up top, only 2 guys covering.
Smith out to the 23-yard line. Howard Green, the former Jet, makes the tackle.
This is a nice job by this Jet offensive line right here. Nothing fancy about this play.
Smith gained 5, now 3rd down and 5. Sanchez, a pump fake. Now he throws a penalty marker as Brandon Chiller broke it up. Pass intended for the tight end Keller, who has only 1 reception today. And it looks like it will go against Brandon Chiller.
Prior to the pass, holding, 54, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And you heard the start of the call prior to the pass. So this is going to be on the release of the route. Just a little tug. Yeah, I got caught. He got me.
Only the second Green Bay penalty. New set of downs for the Jets. From the 28-yard line, the toss to Tomlinson, and then he hands it off to Contry, who dropped it, picked it back up, and is tackled at the 20-yard line. Loss of 8 after Howard Green helped cause the bobble.
Well, they overloaded. They bring DeBrickashaw Ferguson to the right side, so you're showing a strong run tendency, but you might want to be you got to block big 95, Goose. I know you can't miss him. He's too big.
And also, he's a little upset at the franchise for getting rid of him earlier in the week, so you definitely want to block him.
But how do you move DeBrickashaw Ferguson over to that side and then turn loose the defensive tackle on an end around?
Now 2nd down at 18. Sanchez to a wide open Braylon Edwards. His first catch today in Packers territory, a 31-yard pass play.
Well, there's your pump fake that holds a defender and allows your guy to get down the field. Shows him the slant. Tramon Williams jumps that, gets in behind for the big play on the outside.
So after we saw Smith take a direct snap out of the Wildcat and then the attempted trick play, Jets go the conventional route and gain 31 yards. Now here's Green from the 48. Sean Green down to the 44-yard line. Clay Matthews makes the tackle as Green picks up 4.
Oh, it's been uncharacteristic for the Jets today. It's not that physical running game. The Packers have done a nice job, especially after what's happened to them the last couple of weeks. 150 yards rushing to Miami, 196 to the Minnesota Vikings last Sunday. Had to be a concern coming into this game. They've done a good job, but it's been a couple of big plays here in the second half for the Jets passing game.
Jets' 4th trip across midfield, 2 turnovers and a missed field goal. From the 44, it's Green. And Green is tripped up at the 39-yard line. Gain of 5, setting up 3rd down and 1. Jets send in Wayne Hunter, number 78, as an extra blocker.
They're going to bring the big boys in for the 3rd and 1 now.
Packers have brought in an offensive lineman, T.J. Lang, on their D-line as Green dives for a 1st down. There's number 70. He's an offensive tackle.
Well, that's how thin they are in the defensive line. When you go short yardage and goal line, you got to pull somebody in from the offensive line. All won by that Jets offense up front. Great pad level. They kept everybody down from Green Bay. Nobody could come over the top and try and meet Sean Green in the hole. They pushed that line of scrimmage a yard down the field.
From the 37. On 1st down, this is Green, penalty marker. As Sean Green gains 2.
Holding, 81 the offense, 10-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Tight end Dustin Keller.
This is where that run game's going to help you, too. Watch right here, Dustin Keller, outside. You can't grab outside. If you're going to grab somebody, you got to grab inside the numbers, inside the jersey. When it's outside, especially Clay Matthews, you got too many eyes out there, you're going to get called all the time.
Jets forced back to the 47-yard line. 3 wide receivers set, 1st down and 20. Sanchez looking for Keller, and it's picked off.
Interception.
Charles Woodson. He was ruled down, but he intercepts the pass. It's the 3rd Jets turnover in Packers territory today. And for the 2nd time, a Packer defender wrestles it away from a Jet receiver. Charles Woodson with the interception, his 2nd of the season, 47th of his career. And remember, the Jets could not challenge the play because they are out of challenges.
0 for 2 earlier in the game.
So the Packers take over. Following the 3rd Jets turnover, Jets committed only 4 coming into this game. Rodgers with time to Jackson across midfield. And he's tackled at the 44-yard line by Calvin Pace.
Nice play design there. Get everybody worried about all the vertical routes down the field. Everybody's turning and running, and they get Brandon Jackson slipped out to the left flat with nobody on him in coverage.
Had the Jets had a challenge remaining, what do you think would have happened following that play?
I think it's exactly the same one we had earlier with Jamal Williams taking the ball away. So I don't think they're going to win that one either. Mike Pereira came on, gave us a great explanation of why. So I thought it was a very, very similar scenario.
From the Jets 44 on 1st down, the toss to Kuhn. And we can hear chants of Kuhn from the Packer portion of this crowd. He picks up 5 down to the Jets 39-yard line. We are under 10 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter with the Packers leading the Jets 3-0. Jets, a league low 4 turnovers coming into this game, have committed 3 today in Green Bay territory. Sanchez 2 more interceptions, threw 2 in his last game against Denver. 2nd down and 5. Rodgers firing downfield, but Jones stopped. Cromartie on the coverage. 3rd down and 5 upcoming.
And we had a couple of those against the Minnesota Vikings last week. Some miscommunication between Aaron Rodgers and some of the wide receivers on what to do at the top of the route based on the coverage they were seeing. Yeah, so again, right there, there's an example of the quarterback and the wide receiver not being on the same page.
Lions must get to the 34. Rodgers fires, and the pass is caught for a first down by Jordy Nelson, who signals first down, a gain of 14 as Rodgers is helped back up.
He got the pass off, but boy, he paid for it.
Yeah, but he does a great job finding his number 3 guy. He has a lot of respect for Antonio Cromartie and Darrelle Revis. He talked to us about trying to find that other matchup, and that was Jordy Nelson on that play.
Nelson with 4 catches today. First and 10 from the Jets' 26. And the play is blown dead.
False start, 76 offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Left tackle Chad Clifton. Mike McCarthy's Packers, no stranger to close games. Their last 5 games have been decided by 4 points or less. All 3 of their losses have been by exactly 3 points, including 2 in overtime. They leave this one 3-0. First down and 15 following the penalty. Rodgers takes off and slides down at the 26-yard line.
It has been a chess match on the sidelines as everybody's trying to match personnel on and off the field based on offense. Here they all come. Here comes the shifts. Hurry!
Rodgers on 2nd and 10, backpedaling, pump fake, and he throws it away, and we will head back to Los Angeles and Kurt.
As you see Aaron Rodgers limping, the guy that he replaced, not much limp there for Brett Favre as he takes the field in New England. Looks like he will start against the Patriots as Randy Moss heads back to New England for the first time since that trade as well. It's America's Game of the Week coming your way when you guys are done there with the new Meadowlands. Kenny Moose and Deuce.
All right, Kurt, as we were listening to Kurt preview America's Game of the Week, a late flag was thrown.
We saw the signal for illegal receiver down the field. Greg Jennings is blocking, so there was a mix-up again with the play call.
Downfield on a forward pass, number 75 of the offense. That penalty's declined, 3rd down.
75 is the rookie right tackle out of Iowa, Brian Bulaga.
And you saw Aaron Rodgers turn his ankle trying to make that throw. But again, that's 2 plays in a row where not everybody is on the same page. Aaron Rodgers has got a play pass called. Greg Jennings is blocking down the field. Brian Bulaga releases down the field, so you had at least 2 guys that were thinking run and 9 guys that were thinking pass.
3rd down and 10. Empty backfield, 4 wide receivers set. Rodgers gets rid of it quickly to Nelson. And the Packers will have to settle for a field goal attempt as Nelson gains just 3. So here comes Mason Crosby, who hit from 20 in the first quarter. The only scoring coming after the Packers had a short field following the Jets' fake punt attempt. And then in the second quarter, Crosby was wide left on this end from 45 yards out. This will be a 41-yard attempt from the left hash. A kick by Crosby this time is good. Just inside the right upright. So Mason Crosby extends the Packers' lead to 6.
Hey, Goose, you did a heck of a job on those pumpkins earlier today.
I tell you what, my arms are really sore from carving those things out. You like that Mark Sanchez one we just put up?
That was nice.
Yeah.
You got any more? You got any more left?
A knife and a Sharpie, what I could do. Multi-talent. Yeah, there's a couple more. I'll show them to you later.
Goose keeping busy on the sidelines. Brad Smith, 47-yard return earlier, takes this one out of the end zone. And he is tackled shy of the 20 by Nick Collins. Well, Goose, you were carving pumpkins earlier, and you've also been immortalized at the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum in Manhattan.
If wax is traded as a commodity, I'm buying a whole bunch of wax.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
They got enough wax, don't worry. Yeah, it's going to be cool. We're doing a thing for Man Caves. We're going to build them a nice set. We have some fun at the Super Bowl with it.
From the 19-yard line, Mark Sanchez and the Jets trailing by 6. Pass out to the 25-yard line intended for Jericho Cotchery. Goose joining the likes of Marilyn Monroe, Brad Pitt, Elvis, Madonna, the Beatles, and a number of U.S. presidents at the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum in New York.
Well, when you think of Tony Siragusa, you think of Marilyn Monroe and presidential
Absolutely.
style, and Brad Pitt. I mean, Brad Pitt, obviously. I mean, that's a given.
Keep being a wise guy up there now. Wise guys.
Back to football. 2nd and 10 from the 19. Inside handoff to Tomlinson. Jets under 100 yards on the ground today. They average 159, and Brian Schottenheimer now thinking ahead to a 3rd down and 6 play call.
And hats off to the Green Bay Packers. Dom Capers have just done a great job with, limited personnel, being able to match up against these guys. And at the beginning of the game, we talked about the Green Bay passing game going against a healthy Darrelle Revis, Antonio Cromartie. But the concern was, could they hold up against this Jets ground game? And they've done a great job all afternoon.
The Jets team that had 2 weeks to prepare coming off the bye, and they average over 26 points per game. Shutout so far today. Sanchez in trouble on 3rd down. He takes off. Now he throws, and the catch is made by Keller. Dustin Keller takes it all the way down to the Green Bay 37-yard line. Sanchez able to get the pass away, and Keller gains 44 yards.
Pressure on the outside. Here comes Clay Matthews. A little stunt. He thinks the play's over. He's got his back turned. Mark Sanchez scrambling down the field with his eyes.
And now Sanchez to the 35, gain of 2.
Look at him scanning down the field. Finds Dustin Keller against Nick Collins. Good touch over the top. They've hit a couple of big plays in the passing game this half, but haven't been able to take advantage.
Remember, 4 trips into Packers territory. 3 turnovers, 1 missed field goal. 2nd and 8. Off the play fake to Tomlinson. Sanchez throws, and it's incomplete, intended for Cotchery.
And again, it's one of those specialty plays that you've got put in. Now you're going to shift, you're going to overload the other side. You're going to bring Damian Woody, and you're going to show a strong run tendency. You got 2 tackles right there. There goes you're pulling your tight end across. They're just not able to execute these handful of special plays that they put in the offense.
So now a huge play, 3rd down and 8 from the Packers 35. 3 wide receivers plus Keller. Sanchez fires downfield. Cotchery could not make the catch. Tramon Williams on the coverage.
It looked like this ball sailed a little bit on Tramon Williams. He stopped and looked like he thought he was going to be able to make a play on it. They just kept carrying to Jericho Cotchery. He got lucky.
So the Jets will leave their offense on the field. 4th down and 8 from the 35. Jets must get to the 27. 4th down and 8. Sanchez throws. Pass intended for Cotchery. No flags.
I don't have a problem with a call on 4th down, but on 3rd down, I think if you're in that situation when you're on the cusp of that hard decision, play 2 smart plays on 3rd and 4th down, give you a better down and distance.
Back at New Meadowlands Stadium, where the Jets trail the Packers 6-0. Green Bay takes over on downs after the incompletion on 4th and 8. Aaron Rodgers on the Packers from their own 35-yard line. The handoff to John Kuhn, who gains 1.
That was just a bizarre series of plays on those last set of downs by the New York Jets after the big pass play to Dustin Keller. I mean, you have, the hurry up with the quarterback, and then you're in that spot. Make a better play call on 3rd down. Give yourself a chance on that critical 4th down play.
Timeout, Jets. Jets have not been shut out since November of 2006. 10-0 home loss to the Bears in Eric Mangini's first season as Jets head coach. Packers last shutout, 26-0 over the Lions last October 18th. 2nd down and 8 for Green Bay. The toss to Jackson following the Jets timeout, and he loses a yard. Jets use their 2nd timeout, stop the clock with 4:03 remaining. Coming up following the Jets and the Packers, it will be America's Game of the Week. Most of you will see the Minnesota Vikings and the New England Patriots. 2nd game of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader, followed by the OT and then Game 4 of the World Series between the San Francisco Giants and the Texas Rangers.
All you need is one channel, and that's Fox, Kenny Albert.
That's
correct?
it.
Catch it all right here.
That's it, Goose. America's Game of the Week. The OT. Baseball. 3rd down and 10 with 4:03 remaining. Packers keep it on the ground with Jackson. Now Green Bay will punt. We welcome those of you who have been watching the St. Louis Rams and the Carolina Panthers. A 2010 victory for the Rams, evening their record at 4-4. Kenny Albert with Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa from New Meadowlands Stadium. New York Jets use their final timeout. They are about to get the ball back. Packers will punt. Green Bay leading 6-0 with just under 4 minutes remaining.
Well, the big critical play in the game early was a fake punt decision by the New York Jets. And that was what led to all our points early on, where it stayed 3-0 until just recently here in the 4th quarter. The New York Jets, several turnovers inside Green Bay territory. Uncharacteristic of the Jets.
Naste punting from his own 25-yard line. Bounces out of bounds, so the Jets with no timeouts remaining, 3:50 on the clock, will start from their own 24-yard line.
The fake punt early in the game, it was long yardage on 4th down. Looked like they had it, but a step out of bounds prevents that. Green Bay got a field goal off that drive, and we stood at 3-0. For a long time, some interesting calls. Tramon Williams takes the ball away from Jericho Cotchery for one of those turnovers. It's been windy here at the New Meadowlands. A couple of misses going right to left by both teams. One for the Packers, one for the Jets.
Jets have turned the ball over 3 times. Daniel Tomlinson. Gain of 4 as we head west to Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Right after the Detroit Lions scored to take a 20-19 lead over the Redskins, it is Brandon Banks who had a kick return called back earlier in the game. Not this one, 96 yards. They missed the 2-point conversion, lead it 25-20. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. 2nd down and 5. Sanchez downfield. Cotchery loses the football, but it is ruled an incomplete pass. Never had possession.
There's going to be a lot of people that will be critical of Mark Sanchez after this game if it stays and the Jets lose, but his receivers have not helped him today. There's been a number of drops. That's a great hit by Charlie Pepper right as the ball comes in.
So now 3rd down and 5. Jets from their own 28-yard line. Jets must get to the 33 for a first down. Sanchez in trouble, taken down by his college teammate, Clay Matthews, back at the 22-yard line. Loss of 6, 9.5 sacks for Clay. That leads the entire National Football League.
Well, Damian Woody had done a great job all afternoon. That's just a tremendous spin move by Clay Matthews right there. And because the Jets used all their timeouts on that last series by the Packers, they have to go for it here on 4th down. I was a little bit concerned about the fact that they burned them all. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me to use all 3.
I was surprised about the 3rd one. 4th down and 11. Sanchez backs away from Matthews. Matthews chasing Sanchez. Sanchez fires downfield off the hands of Braylon Edwards. Packers will take over on downs.
In this situation, you've got to work back to your quarterback. I know Braylon Edwards is open down the sideline, but it's like everything else. You can't stand there and wave your hands. The ball is going to be in the air for a while. It gives plenty of time for Nick Collins to come across the field, but somebody has to work back to Mark Sanchez. Everybody was working away downfield. Look at, you've got one guy down low. Everybody out here, hey, finally somebody, it's Antonio Holmes, but that's, or Jericho Cotchery, but that's too late.
You know, Moose, you're absolutely right. He did not get any help from his receivers today, especially them 2 turnovers. If they just held on to the ball when they went down to the ground and fought for it, there's 2 less turnovers they would have had in this game.
The big hit by Charlie Pepper on the pass to Jericho Cotchery, that ends up being a huge play out in your midfield.
Jeff, with no timeouts remaining, here's Jackson. We just saw Clay Matthews on the sideline. We asked Clay yesterday, are you excited to see Mark Sanchez? College teammate, he said, if I can get to him, I'll be real happy. He did on that series.
He did a nice job of blocking hands, and what a great spin move, like Moose, you pointed out, huh?
I mean, just relentless. You know, some guys will get frustrated. You're the leader in the NFL with 8.5 sacks, but you haven't gotten there all day, and not Clay Matthews. You got to block him for 60 minutes.
Hard to imagine he was a walk-on at USC. We've hit the 2-minute warning. Packers 6-0. Two minutes remaining here at the Meadowlands. Coming up, America's Game of the Week. Vikings and the Patriots. New England keeping a close eye on this one. Coming into play today, Patriots and Jets tied atop the AFC East at 5-1. Remember, the Jets are out of timeouts. It has been a game of mistakes by the New York Jets. They've been in Packers territory 5 times, unable to score, 3 turnovers. Mason Crosby, 2 field goals, accounting for all of the scoring. The quarterback numbers. And the Packers are 1:35 away from their first road shutout since 1991 in Tampa Bay.
Well, when you have a game like the Jets had today, you're going to spend the first couple of days of the next week answering a lot of questions. That series, the one after the big catch by Dustin Keller, you know, assuming that they hurried up with that quarterback to make sure that Mark Sanchez was not beyond the line of scrimmage to check that play. But then that leaves you with just 3 downs left, right at that 35-yard line, which is that kind of that tough spot. And then some of the play calling there, you're going to go for it on 4th down. I would have liked to have seen a call on 3rd down that gave you more options. Then on the next series, you know, Green Bay gets the ball, and consecutively you burn your 3 timeouts. And you're right around the 4-minute mark. I thought that, yeah, use 2 of them, but keep 1 in your pocket. And when you don't, now when you get to the 4th down situation here, you're forced to go for it on 4th down in your end of the field on an all-or-nothing chance. And you know, we've just seen so many opportunities. It's a lot of little things during the course of the day. You know, some drop passes. Jericho Cotchery had an opportunity for a big catch out near midfield. on that drive. But they'll be answering a lot of questions at the Jets facility this week, the entire week off. The fake punt, the turnovers in Green Bay territory. There's going to be a number of things that people are going to want answers to.
Well, you know what, Moose? They're only one play away from winning this game, really.
Absolutely.
It's only 6 points. Green Bay, as good a game as it was for Green Bay, they put 2 field goals up. I mean, it's 6 points. And I think that the Jets fix a couple things, like we talked about. The receivers go and play a little bit better. They stick with the run game a little bit more. This could have been a whole different game, but
they're only going to get better, Goose. The defense with Darrelle Revis getting healthier and healthier, Santonio Holmes becoming more comfortable in this offense. So yeah, but the big thing is what you said at halftime. Rex Ryan was not happy with his offense, and having them being shut out with his defense only giving up 6. He's going to be very upset with him now.
40-yard attempt, Mason Crosby, and it just sneaks through. So that kick will serve as the exclamation point for the Green Bay Packers here at the Meadowlands today against a Jets club that has not lost since week 1, Monday night, September 13th, to the Ravens. They have won their last 5 since. So the Packers now lead 9-0 coming up on America's Game of the Week. Most of you will see the Minnesota Vikings and the New England Patriots. Tom Brady, Brett Favre, Randy Moss returning to Foxborough. Buccaneers take on the Cardinals, Seahawks, and the Raiders. America's Game of the Week following the Packers and the Jets.
Hats off to this Green Bay defense, though. Coming into the game, beat up, not a lot of guys in the lineup. They've been hit by a lot of injuries this season. They've given up almost 200 to Minnesota last Sunday, 150 to Miami the week before that. They keep this really potent Jets ground game under 100 yards today. So hats off to that Green Bay defense. That's an excellent job.
And their offensive line, like you mentioned before the game, Moose, there was a lot of pressure on that offensive line to stop this very aggressive Jets defense, and they got it done today.
You think Howard Green goes home with a game ball?
I don't know, but they need to get him a new shirt.
Crosby's kick taken at the 2 by Smith. And Brad Smith wrapped up at the 27. Great job by our entire crew, led by producer Barry Landis, director Michael Frank, associate directors Jeremy Green and Darren Foster, associate producer Chirag Devaskar, our technical producer David M. Hill, and the technical director is Beepin Vidge. There's Howard Green, started the week as a Jet, attempted to return home to Louisiana, received a phone call, you're heading to Green Bay. Traveled to Wisconsin late in the week, and then it was back to New Jersey on Saturday. Eric Marlis crunching the numbers. Thanks to Ben Bowman, Matt Banovic, Rick Camps, and Lou Tribbiani. Sanchez. Patry heading for the sidelines. Clock stops with 9 seconds remaining. Jets on the road the next 2 weeks. They will visit Detroit and Cleveland. Up next for the Packers, the Dallas Cowboys. They trail Jacksonville with 2 minutes remaining, 35-17. Looks like the Cowboys will drop to 1-6.
Unbelievable. They've got the meat of their schedule coming up, and that schedule came out, and you looked at it for 2010. They're getting into the toughest part of it right now.
Could be very ugly for them, almost.
At 1-6.
Jets will drop to 5-2. Packers raise their record to 5-3 as the game will end on that slide by Mark Sanchez. Green Bay with their first road shutout since 1991. For Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa, Kenny Albert saying so long. Now to the Fox Network Center and Kurt Menefee.
Welcome to the AT&T Game Break.
The Green Bay Packers with a big win today at the Meadowlands, just a week after beating up on Brett Favre and the Vikings. Today, Favre takes his show on the road and will start at New England as America's Game of the Week comes your way in just a moment. The Vikings at the Patriots here in high definition only on Fox. But right now, it's time for the AT&T Game Break. Kurt Menefee along with Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. And let's talk a little bit about that game, Jimmy. The Vikings Well, they're desperate for a win no matter where they are. Right now, people are wondering, should Brett Favre be in this position to be starting?
Well, personally, I think Jackson is going to be someone that would give them fewer errors. But if Brett Favre will rely on the defense, because, really you look at New England, they don't have great stats on defense. They can run the football with Peterson, they can play defense, just avoid the turnover and he'll be fine.
But with the injury to Brett Favre's ankle and all that, he needs to rely on other guys. The way he's going to set up in the pocket when he releases the ball to step into the throw, all the things that we said earlier today, all those things are going to come into effect.
Parvin in the slot and on special teams, big key today.
Oh, yeah, in this game, Randy Moss also going back to New England. Don't forget that. Kickoff comes your way right after this.